How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. We are watching One Piece Movie 4, The Adventure of Dead End. Dead End, I guess, being the name of a person, and it's Dead End's treasure or something probably, and we're following on, like, they had the adventure, now we're getting their treasures, what I imagine the movie will be. I don't have much of a prediction besides that. I will say, as far as the crew goes, I am hoping that this has, like, Robin on it now, and I don't think it's going to have Frankie yet. I think it's going to be, I mean, that was a bit of a gap, so yeah, I think it's going to have Robin now here, and that's my guess. If you want to see the full length, check it out. It's available for everybody. Description below. Synced up, no syncing required. You know how it goes at this point. Okay, where do we even begin with this movie? This one is definitely, out of the three, the worst one so far. Very surprising. I really would have expected some of the earlier ones, like the earliest ones, to be the ones that were the roughest, but boy, howdy. This one had a lot of ideas and not a great way how to execute them. Again, this really feels like Stampede Alpha version. Like, this Stampede is the one where, you know, we're just trying to do everything in One Piece again. It's a lot of like the, hey, I liked this arc, hey, I liked that arc, especially with a lot of, hey, I liked Skypiea, let's do Skypiea again, and all that stuff. And that is a lot of what this movie is too, but less with Skypiea and more with Jaya specifically. This movie reeks of the somebody watching the Jaya arc, and like just that whole area, the Jaya, Long Ring, Long Land, and the beginning of Enies Lobby, like right around that area here, seemingly just not even really caring much about Skypiea. It seems to be that sort of setting. This town feels very much so like Logtown and like Mocktown, which are both, you know, they are the pirate towns. We don't really get to that very often in One Piece, but we get that a hell of a lot in filler, and this one specifically really felt like it was trying to be Mocktown specifically, like the town full of pirates where the Straw Hats are here and they have the more lofty dream while everybody else is just like thinking that they're out of their league, and yeah, all this sort of stuff. And then again, going so against the scene at the beginning of all of One Piece, with the band is coming in and smashing Shanks' head on the bar, and or I mean, I'm thinking of the Bellamy thing, but you know, splashing beer in his face and everything like that. And I just think they roughed him up in some way. But yeah, and it's like it's not a big deal. We know that we are a bigger deal than you, and they aren't doing anything mean to somebody else. They're only doing something mean to like us, and it's not in a very you know, it's in a very laughable way. It's in a like, oh, splashing beer in my face, you think that's going to do anything? And then with the Bellamy thing, it starts off as that and then goes into the, if you know, you're mocking my ideals and you think like the way in which Bellamy mocks, you know, his ideals, it is a stronger statement to not react to it and to show how steadfast Luffy is in his beliefs, rather than if he tried to fight back, it would feel a little bit like he felt like Bellamy was right in some way. Not realistically, but, you know, in media, it can kind of feel like that sometimes. And so this movie, to throw that completely out of the water and be like, nah, Luffy's gonna steal a bunch of people's food, then they're gonna get mad, and then Luffy's gonna beat them up. I mean, to be fair, they got mad at Luffy for stealing the food, but the whole fight, like, the thing that I was complaining about the most was Luffy and Strider, because Luffy getting in the fight with the people that he stole his food from, and then, you know, that whole thing was a completely separate thing, but Strider was just, as far as Luffy knows, somebody that just, you know, smashed his face into some plates and stuff, which is exactly the Bellamy thing. And then to have such a, like, throughout the whole movie, I want to fight you thing is really, really weird. Because, yeah, it's just, there was no real, all he saw from Luffy's perspective is Strider doing that. You know, he didn't know the whole, I mean, not really like there was a whole other side of it, but you know what I mean. So then we have the Marines at the whole beginning thing, which doesn't go anywhere. Like, you know, that is not really tied into the whole Marine base thing at the end. That's really completely irrelevant. It was solely to set up the punchline at the end of the, again, just redoing the Jaya arc's entire joke, not even joke, it is barely can be considered a joke of, oh, they think that Luffy's bounty is only 30 million, but it's actually 100 million. they just literally redo the joke again, and it's like, what? And I don't even think I need to mention the 3D, 2D, that whole. But also, it sounds like 3D 2I, but no, like that whole sequence where we're going through the town, and it's like the setting is a 3D CGI, but then it's just the 2D characters there is. I have no words to describe how bad it looks. It's terrible. It is terrible. And we spend so long, like, on the whole, getting to the pirate side of the island. Like, it is such a long, not really cold open, but just a long preamble before this really begins. And I like some of it, but I don't know. There's a lot of wasted stuff in this movie. Like, then we hype up the giants and the merman guy. And to be fair, I truly don't even know what happened to the merman. What happened to the merman? I can't remember that, actually. The last thing I remember is him drilling through a bunch of things, and then he was going after Gasparde, and I think that's the last thing we ever saw of him. I don't think we found out what happened to him. Or maybe I'm crazy. I don't remember that. But and the giants just got, like, you know, they just turned them into a joke, and it was like, okay, thought they were going to be kind of cool, but nope, not really. Wasn't even a good joke. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff set up that doesn't really go anywhere. Like, even Schreier as a character was really interesting. I really was, you know, curious as what they were doing with, already by the fourth movie, getting this movie original character that has an entire plot line and is very, very important, getting a lot of screen time. I really liked that. But then in the end, for it to just be, when the actual fight, when he goes to fight anybody, we're going to show just a little bit of it, and then we're going to cut away and just completely, like, we don't really know how he got the guy's claw. Like, it's kind of implied, but we don't see any of the important parts of the fight. We only see the unimportant parts of fights, and that is a very strange idea of what you want to do with a movie. We only want to show the in-between frames, not any of the key stuff. Very, very weird. Again, Gasparde was also, as they were hyping up, he seemed very, very cool. I really liked him. I have been listening to his song a ton, not just, like, specifically because it's Gasparde's theme or anything, but just, you know, I listen to the One Piece OST, and I think one of the best, like, you know, soundtrack songs is the Gasparde ones. They're really good. They're fucking bangers. And it's sad to see that it didn't live up to my expectations. But, I mean, that's what so, like, I was wrong with the whole flower thing. Like, I didn't catch that Sanji was, like, telling Luffy, like, here, this, like, they were trying to do a Mr. Prince thing with Sanji, which I very much so appreciate and everything like that. But, again, it is just kind of lame that they're doing the whole Alabasta thing again, that just, or, I mean, if you want to say the electricity thing with NL, maybe, but that's a completely different thing. I really appreciate that Oda has only done that so far with the two of them. There's been some smaller things of, oh, this power works against this person, you know, very well, but the idea of every Logia is possible to beat through some sort of, you get water, or you are made of rubber, or you get flour or something, it would get tiring extremely quickly. It's already too tiring seeing it in another movie like this. So, yeah, I mean, the crocodile thing already doesn't really make sense. It's fine because it's One Piece, and One Piece is all about rule cool and doing something in the moment and everything. But then if you try and replicate that, you really are pointing out the stuff that doesn't make any fucking sense about how this stuff works. Like, the flowers, you know, on this, the whole fight is under immense downpour. Doesn't affect the flower in any way. The fact that Crocodile, this character who has gone up against insane, like, what am I trying to say, like, power-leveled people, like, and not in, like, a way where they thought, oh, something might happen, like Whitebeard. I mean, when he was trying to go for Whitebeard's head, it was where the whole ground was ice and there's water everywhere, and no worries whatsoever about that. Like, you know, normally you have the problem of falling into the water, but if you get splashed with a tiny bit of water, apparently no go. And, like, the fact that Luffy's blood worked on Crocodile is insane, that nobody has fought Crocodile while they're bleeding up to that point. Or, to be fair, like, you know, Crocodile's the poison and everything like that, there's more steps to it. But you get why Crocodile is so surprised about a lot of the stuff, that it makes a lot more sense when he hits him with water for the first time if you read it as Crocodile thinking that Luffy's using hockey, when he's like, oh, did he figure out ... you know, thinking that he figured out hockey inside of the water. But, like, again, the water thing, it doesn't really make sense. It's fine to go with for one fight, but if I would have tried to do that with every Logia user, it'd be terrible. And so seeing it again in this movie, not great, not fun. It was just a boring end to the fight. And yeah, what else can I say about that? His henchmen were not interesting. His Jolly Roger was so inconsistently drawn that it made me not like it by the end. And the crew dynamics were fine, but it really did not feel like it really felt like a movie in which the Straw Hats were guest stars. You know what I mean? Like, that's just weird. They felt like side characters, and I didn't like that. Usopp got to have his one shining moment was, I shot one cannonball. One single cannonball. And yeah, I mean, just there's a lot of cool concepts. The idea of the race, and then it's the Marine base. A lot of the stuff that Gaspare does to trick people is a cool concept. Just in the way they execute it and in the movie overall, not great. Also, just the fact that we have that, like, the fact that he continuously was hurting Luffy with bare fist punches, like, in gloves as well, like, even more dampened, when he has an ability that could just make his fists spiked. There's so much he could do to make it make sense why he's hurting Luffy, and they don't do that until, like, the very end of the fight where he actually starts making spikes. Yeah, it just bad movie. Overall, bad movie. I'll see you guys for the next one. Until then, get the fuck out of here.